time. Stick with us, Pete. We'll get your thoughts at the first break in play. Here's Dennis Cometti on Friday Night Football.
Umpires tonight, Margette's winning Goldspink. Opening bounce, away we go. Friday Night Football. Ackland knocks it down. Shirley gets a hand pass away. Matner dragged down, back towards Shirley. Over the top was Milne. Goddard comes in. We've got a whistle as we go down to Doc.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. Ossie Jones returns tonight at the expense of Matt Maguire. Both have had calf injuries, and obviously Ossie Jones playing on Simon Goodwin coming back with a calf injury, and also Thompson, he'll be out for 1 more week with St.Kilda with an AC joint.
Working with Phil Spector down there, the Doc. There's the bounce on the wing. The wall of sound. That's right. Charging through Del Santo. Goes to half forward. Well played. Too much carry for Hayes. Revolt comes up. Box got a big job. Did pretty well there. Tawney hard against the line. Stepped across the line. And a boundary throw in.
Adelaide have made their intentions clear already. Ben Hart has already been nominated as the loose man in defence, so they're just going to try and win this game with about 14 goals. You'd think that'll be their aim.
Well, Andrew McLeod won't be complaining tonight about the tagging. You saw him dragging the arm of Luke Ball up towards the G-train. First contest of the night. It's over the head of Rutten as well. Coming in to Fiore, gets it over to Gary, who has the shot and kicks the first goal. How about that? Fraser Gehry, away he goes.
Well, that was a magnificent second effort from Fraser. He contested the ball and great strength. Good play there from Fiore, just kept the ball in. Good thinking from Fraser Gehry and just slotted truly on the left foot.
So hard to hold your ground. See how his back foot came off the ground, yet he still tried to dig in and make it not easy for Rutten to shift him forward. The really strong blokes are able to hold their ground when they're in front like that.
Gehry. The opening goal of the night then, the snap. Dirty day last week. Saints lead it by 6. Bock has the job on Revolt. We'll watch that with interest. Hudson on the way down, got it to Goodwin, who was taken down by Ball. Goddard, gang tackled. Shirley one side, Hudson the other. Bounce.
Lenny Hayes contesting in the middle for the bounce downs and then pushes forward to a true half-forward roll.
Hudson over the top, knocked it down. Ackland falls on top of the football this time, tries to feed it out. Takes a while to come out. In fact, it still hasn't eventually. Baker to Ball, kicks it out towards the wing. Hart, meters in the clear, measures it nicely, comes back to the corridor. And McLeod running up towards the centre circles, hesitates, realises he's more nimble than Ackland. Took him on, runs beyond the wing, looks inside the forward 50. McGregor.
That is a good kick. Good kick under pressure.
Good move from Neil Craig, putting Ken McGregor forward. They're starting to kick goals in the forward line, so he's put his intentions early with McGregor forward.
Led authoritatively too. He's out wide, but it's better to have the ball out wide than not have it at all, that's for sure. As an opener of the game, yeah, kick the goal. Get this one through and the confidence goes sky high.
Hasn't kicked a goal this season.
More the point then.
And he comes. Steps to the 50. Starts it right and hangs out there and maybe just sneaks in for a behind. This will be tight. First score for Adelaide.
First score for McGregor for the season. Is a behind. And interesting that McLeod is being dragged right back to the full-back line. We might get a shot of it, boys, to pick up Milne down there. He was able to run off him a few moments ago. Cut into the centre corridor, just read it better than anybody else, but we'll see what happens from here. Del Santo releases over to Goddard, who had a great game last week. Goddard transfers play to the outer side. It's marked there by Voss. Voss looks up, there's nothing on, so he has to put the brakes on. Now he holds his kick and did it well. Great play. Now the Saints go forward through Fisher. To the forward 50. Gehry's got it again. Almost took it. Just fell in front of him. Good play by McLeod. The Crows work it around. Bock finally from the back pocket. Kicks out wide and Burton makes even a chest mark look spectacular. He gets it away. Tawney with a long kick up towards the half-forward flank position. McGregor from behind has given away the free kick and Penny will take it for the Saints at half-back flank.
He's back tonight and they need him. Then some heightened defence, just pops it over the top. This is Fisher. The defensive side of the wing. Saints lead it by 5. Terrible kick straight to Perry. Perry lays it off. Bassett pushing up from defence. Loops the hand pass over the top for a shootout. Burton is running to centre half forward. Gets around Ackland, 50 squared in, plenty of Saints. Penny spoke of it moments ago, grabbed it. They'll bring it out. It was rather untidy from Fiora, but eventually they can still sort this. In fact, it was Fisher's hand pass that came across to Jones, who finds Hayes tumbling forward at half-back, slips it back to Jones, and he's away.
And Aussie goes up to centre wing. Tries a bit of fancy stuffings up on the AstroTurf, and the umpire says throw it in.
It's an interesting role for McLeod. He played on Aaron Davey and did a very good job. So Milne's got his hands full. Even though Milne's playing the forward line, he's going to have to be ready when Adelaide get the ball.
And Danny, of course, for Milne, getting back to that goal line and out of the play where he's so dangerous.
Exactly right, Eddie.
So a bit of tactics going on. Obviously, the Crows.
It's almost a war of wills, isn't it? Just to see who's going to bend first, get McLeod into the play, or will he stay back there just to try and, nullify Milne?
That's an interesting one because Neil Craig will want him to run off, as you say, boys, and the Saints will want him to stay back. Here's Fiora. He loves his left foot from 50. He lines it up and just misses to the near side.
Beautiful hands by Del Santo just to release him. Then that handball travelled off. Gee, you'd be generous if you say it travelled about 18 inches, but it put him into space. There you go.
Good look away handball too. Got the blind turn in.
McLeod, the good one. McLeod runs hard. Cruises pass, not required. Goodwin goes towards the outer side wing. This is Rutten having a very good season. Bock. He's on the wing now, looking down towards half forward and Burton. Burton takes the mark a couple of metres in from the line. Saints lead it by 6. Early going. Friday night football. Burton plays on. Penetrating kick. Deep into attack. Coming back, Boss.
He had confidence then that Penny was going to keep his man grounded.
Hudson to Goddard. Awkward half volley. In fact, it may not have carried the 15 in any case. Comes to Jones. He's at left half back, looking up towards the wing. Nothing on. Has to hesitate. And boy, did he eventually. McWalter gets a hand pass back to Goddard. Takes on the would-be tackler. They're going nowhere at the moment, the Saints. Goddard gave it to Hayes, to Jones. This is interesting. Coming across, Edwards able to knock it away from Baker. Eventually, weight of numbers tell the story. Hutchton gave it across to support Baker, and now Fisher goes to the outer side wing and Revolt.
Luke Penny's had a big 7.5 minutes. He's been fantastic. The ball comes into Powell now. Powell looks up, not much on. Baker runs through the middle.
You just kept going over the mark. I whistled you back. You didn't have to. I didn't call him.
Well, interesting one, that one, because Burton, as he said, put his hand up because he could see the ball was going to be released laterally and he went to try and smother, but the umpire hadn't called play on.
Running.
So there you go. That's a hard one for the players. Watch this. Burton, he's on the mark there, and then he just moved over. It's inconsequential. I don't know what the situation is.
But he kept running forward
Yeah.
while he was moving backwards to get to the back of his mark. It was given before he actually went sideways.
Yep. So Powell's got it. Inside 50. Big kick for the Saints. Powell bends it back. Good kick. His first. The Saints second.
What about the kick there off the boot? Bob Massey would have been happy with that one. A nice big outswing. It started like it was going to go out in the full here. Here they go. There's a little bit of a shepherd on there. Now watch this. When he gets it, he marks. He's on the line almost. He runs straight back along the line, and he's kept creeping over. At no time did he ever go to come back.
Yep.
It's probably a fraction early call by the umpire because he knew he was going to go centre inboard. That's what's done him. But it was a correct call.
Stephen Powell playing his first game of the season, 3 possessions already, so taking no time to get acclimatised. Saints lead it by 12. They built from the back that time. Penny's been terrific back there. Dug out of the centre, surely went to Grant. Del Santo comes away, little chip out wide. Running onto the football boss, goes over the shoulder, taken by Ball, looks inside the forward 50, and Revolt didn't have to break stride.
What a great kick on the non-dominant side.
He hasn't got much to go to. You've got Ben Hudson dropping back in the hole, about 30 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Ackman will have to go in there and man him up.
He's back from the mark a bit, which means he's going to charge at it. If he's half smart here, Revolt, he can sidestep him.
Right behind him, Revolt sets it on track. Looks pretty good. Saints get another one.
Didn't need the sidestep there, but the young kid Bock, you see a lot of inexperienced players go back and say, I'm going to take an enormous leap at this and try and touch it on the way through. That's what Bock did. So you just put that away in the memory bank and know that next time you might be a bit far out, it might be a show.
And look, the reason why Riewoldt had to lead wide is because Hudson was in the middle of the ground, which meant that Riewoldt had to lead outside the corridor. And that's a fantastic kick from there.
Beautiful kick.
So the Saints are away to a flyer, 18 points in front. I wonder how long McLeod will stay in the opposition full-back goal square because they're getting flogged out of the centre. Rashudo's kick was smothered, and again they get it out. This time it's Jones. The smother came from Hayes, was magnificent. A long kick from Aussie. Up it goes towards Riewoldt, off hands. They're all lining up front square. Goddard's got it. Out to Powell. He's kicked one already. Now he's kicked one goal. One. Ooh, I'll tell you what. Ashley Mallet would have been proud of that one.
I was thinking him too with the off spin.
Ray Bright. Old Spotty Bright would have loved that one. Or maybe Warney with a wrong. Through for a point. Sorry, Dennis, that's your domain.
That's going back a ways, Ed.
This is worth a chance here on Fraser Garrett. Take him on.
It's 42 disposals to 19, by the way.
McLeod the distance and gets plenty towards midfield. Fisted forward. Shirley arrived quickly. Couldn't control the footy though. Shirley battles on. With him is Ball. They wrestle for it. Ball wrenches it free. Well played. Del Santo gives it across to Jones. Jones to space. Will it stay in for Milne? Yes, it will. He's about 60 metres from goal. Goes down towards the pocket. Nondescript kick. Rutten uncontested. Chance to go across the ground straight to Fiora. His target was Hudson. It was a terrible kick.
I reckon Milne's saying, I knew that was going to happen. I've centred it up beautifully.
Yeah, does he get an assist for that? Milne?
What's that?
Oh, not only did he miss kick it, if he had kicked it perfectly, it still would have required one of the best kicks this game has ever seen to hit the target.
Just no margin for error there. So Fiora directly in front.
You've got to give him the Clint Eastwood rule on that one, Ed.
Exactly, Dan.
A man's got to know his limitations.
Margin currently at 19. Now it's 25. Fast start by the Saints.
Well, he's been a good pickup for the Saints, Fiora. That's his 10th goal for the season, and if he keeps averaging more than one goal a game, they play finals, he's going to end up kicking 30 goals for a year, which for a wingman is a really good result because their midfield in there, Hayes, Del Santo and Ball, they're not great goal kickers. They get a lot of the ball, but Fiora is a magnificent free-running player. Telstra Dome really suits him, so he's been a very good pickup for the Saints.
So a big turnover from the Crows there. They got a lucky let-off and then gave it straight back. Ben Rutten will hate that one.
Yeah, they've got to tighten up on Del Santo. He's had 4 clearances so far already.
Yep, and well, here comes Hayes, who's been the hardball get boy out of the centre of the last couple. Over the top of the ball is Raphael Clark, and Raph will get up with the ball under his arm. You'll be happy with that. Hard at it.
Ed, they put the brakes on here at Adelaide. They put Nathan Bassett loose man in defence now for the Crows, trying to double team St Kilda and hopefully force them wide.
It's all very well, but they're 25 points down already. The game's just about gone.
McGregor's has gone back as well.
Okay, Edwards gets it out to Burton, who goes backwards to Rashudo, crashing through. Good tackle. Great tackle there by the Saints up towards the half-full flat position. Raphael Clark tries to crash his way through the pack and will have another bounce. Saints going hard at it at the moment. It's good play all round.
Thanks, mate.
What that leaves is Luke Penny for St Kilda. Loose man in St Kilda's defence.
Straight at it.
There's the umpire giving the directions. Plenty of players around the ball.
Play on!
Fisher did it well, crashed through, got it over to Fiora on his favoured left boot. Gives it a torpedo and a bounce on the full. There you go. Wasn't that favoured for him in the end?
Well, they've had a win already. They've forced him wide by that loose man for Adelaide, being in the defence.
Margin 25 points. Bassett told to play on. Bit of a surprise to him. Goes down towards half forward. The mark is taken by Tawney. Adelaide in real trouble at the moment. Tawney looking towards a very contested half forward line in particular. Told to play on now. Goes over ball who was coming at him, and as a result just lifted the ball slightly. Not easy for the forwards. This is Ackland with support. Runners to either side. Comes to Jones. Back to Clark. Well, they're taking a bit of time and making heavy weather of it, but Clark eventually gives it to Hayes after that slip. Comes to Fisher. He's in the back pocket. Looks towards the wing. Bosch is coming hard. Will he get there in time? Yes, he will. Very good mark. Backed himself to take it. Had it spilt, the Saints would have been in trouble. He's at right half back.
Crows have put the wall up, Dennis.
Yes, plenty of Crows around the wing. He looks back towards the middle. He's told to play on. Comes to Ackland. It bounced short of the target, or did it? No. Put his hands under the football. Just. Plays on.
Still a chance to go in at quarter time, only having the single solitary point here, Adelaide.
Swings it wide. Del Santo comes to the bouncing football. Taken across the line. And holding the ball is the call. Well, Goodwin, I thought he was across the line well inside the beginning of that tackle as the ball is kicked high to Penny. Grist for the mill. Penny comes away immediately to Clark. All too easy back there. They're sharing the football again. This is Jones. Comes back shy of the wing. Goodwin should mark, and he does for Adelaide.
Oh, here we go. Could be a long night, boys, watching this as the ball comes through. Here's a chance now for Biglands. Keep running as he does. Over to Shirley, over the top. Now the chance. The handball comes out to Edwards. He goes another handball. Oh, he threw it away. Thompson just lost the ball completely, and it was robbed of it then by Del Santo, who clears to the outer side. Voss is marked on defensive 50. Goddard provides a lead. Ball comes up as well. He chips over the top. Finds Hudson, who put out the one hand and took the mark. Now, Danny, your thoughts, because you said they've dropped the man back, and the loose man now is Brock at centre half back. But in the meantime, Penny is back there taking anything that comes in.
Well, it's disappointing from Adelaide's point of view because they're not going to score. They're not going to score a goal. What Neil Craig's trying to do is just make sure they go at quarter time only 4 goals down. Well,
Edwards might make them pay here. Raphael Clark took his eye off the ball and made them pay with one behind. Well, they're lucky on that occasion.
Well, just on that end, they're going to have to fabricate their goals like that if they're going to play loose man back in the back line.
I think Craigie at the moment thinks it's a matter of hanging on and not having an 8-goal margin at quarter time.
There's Goddard, still over 7.5 minutes till quarter time. He goes out very wide. Hudson, he's at right half back. Again, the Crows back in number. Not very attractive. Hudson trying to spot that ball to Fiora. As you can see, he drew a crowd of Crows. Burton across to Perry. Perry, the little chip pass, barely the 15 where Shudo's taken the mark. Well, they're in the zone, you could argue that. The Crows, unfortunately, we're talking about the South Australian time zone. They trail by 30 minutes. Virtually haven't started yet. Nondescript footy, we've said that a couple of times as the ball goes down towards the pocket. This is where their problems really start to accumulate. It's out of bounds in the pocket and will be thrown in.
Well, they look up, Dennis, and all they see is Penny in front of the square, so they have to go to the pockets.
Aussie Jones also has had 10 possessions, 9 handball received. Geez, they've missed his run the last couple of weeks. He's having a great quarter.
Yeah, Matner was started on him and he's come off.
Michael Dowding's on him now.
Yep. Jim, you made the good point before about Neil Craig just trying to hold on. We'll have a look in a moment as the kick goes forward up towards the goal square now. Getting back as Hudson now taking the mark. Really putting the brakes on as St.Kilda looked like they were going to absolutely run away with this game.
Well, it's just a matter, if he can go in at half-time, just a 4-goal margin, I think he'd take that.
Powell knocks it away from Tawney. It's picked up by Ball in game number 50. Intercepted by Tawney. Here's a chance now for the Crows. Have they got anyone down there? See? 2 against 1. Will it be 2 against 2? Just on the last second did it come that way. Edwards bustled over the line and out of bounds. Will have a throw in.
Having said that too, Ed, Adelaide, since they've come up and they've just made this big press into their backline, they're playing more contested footy. They're actually putting better pressure on St Kilda, and that's making St Kilda fumble a little bit in the last 2-3 minutes. Not going on the scoreboard for them though yet.
Slow down, a bit of jumper holding. Powell got it away to Clark. Raphael gives the handball away. Nice play to Hayes, the 1-2. Runs into trouble though. He's been dispossessed. Umpire said it was knocked down in the tackle. Play on. Jones kicks up towards Revolt. Gets an ordinary bounce, but he did it beautifully. Kept his composure. Then got away to Ball, who beat 3 tackles. Great play to Goddard. Quick hands. Was magnificent. Out to Hayes. Hayes now kicks it up to the forward 50. Now the Crows have got the numbers up here. McGregor's dropped back. He couldn't hold the mark, and he's in a ton of trouble now. Umpires love this, and umpire Goldspink wasn't going to miss the opportunity.
Just happy to lie on it, Kenny. You've got to knock it out, mate.
That's the decision.
Now, Del Santo will look to pass off here, but Garrick's got to get back first. The one thing Del Santo did cleverly then, he hooked his leg in, so that blocked one avenue for Kenny McGregor to knock it out. So he had both hands on him and a leg in there as shelter as well.
Good umpiring by umpire Darren Goldsmith. Gave him plenty of time, and as he said, you just lay on top of it. So, Del Santo against the run of play in the last 5 minutes. Drop short. Oh, beautiful play. Miller's got it. Revolt with the assist. That was fantastic stuff.
Well, Neil Craig would be absolutely filthy with that. The Adelaide defence, when there's a high kick 10 metres out from goal, your sole purpose as a defender has to put the ball through for a point at worst. And look, that was unbelievable. Del Santo, very good job. Ken McGregor, you've just got to know, you've got to get the ball out. Once you drag that ball in, you have to make an effort to get the ball free so the umpire can see that you make an intention to get the ball out.
Ever the opportunist, right in front of the pack. He's kicked 23-6 this season now. Very active out of that forward pocket.
What about his last 17 shots on goal have been 16-1.
It's an unbelievable. It's about 94%, 95%.
Burton over the football, in trouble. Fiora takes him down. In goes Hayes.
No, came back out. No.
The umpire calls for it as we go down to Tony Jones.
Yes, Dennis and Raf Clark possibly paying the price for a couple of little mistakes there. He's been on the phone to Grant Thomas, and Raf wasn't saying too much.
Margin 30 points. Approaching quarter time. Very early and very high was Blake. Biglands knocks it about 15 metres. Del Santo towards the boundary. Goodwin feeds it back to Thompson. Smothered off the boot brilliantly by Ball. And out it goes. Hard-working Luke Ball. Turns 21 next Wednesday. Boundary throw in. Just outside the 50 for Adelaide. Biglands and Blake. Blake works in front. Biglands with the strength hooks it down behind. Rashudo taken down. Trying to feed it out. Goodwin on the deck beneath Thompson. Coming through Shirley. Rashudo bulldogged by Fiora. Eventually an opportunity for Blake. He's claimed by Burton, going nowhere, and in slow motion they take a tumble.
I miscalculated here. I said with 10 minutes to go in this quarter, they might just stay 1 point. I was 100% out. They've doubled it to 2 points.
Any further advances, Dim?
I reckon they'll be lucky to get to 3.
All right,
for the
Ball
quarter.
hoiks it out of the pack and over the line on centre wing for a throw in.
It was the big thing going into the game, who was going to kick the goals for Adelaide, and obviously up the other end you got Rewald, Gehrig, you got Voss hitting up.
Xavier Clark sitting in there with Michael Long to the right hand side. Ambassador for the AFL and the Indigenous football, doing a great job at AFL level, and one of the most popular people in the history of the game, Michael Long. Ball up on centre wing, as you can see, just under 3 3/4 minutes left in this opening term, dominated by St Kilda, leading by 5 goals. Del Santo, another stat, that one was a tap. Bigland tried to get it out. Over the top of the ball was Doughty, and he is wrapped up by 3 Saints. We'll have a bounce.
Let's go, boys.
Very slow getting up here. What's going on? A bit of pushing and shoving off the ball, and umpire Goldsmith's seen it from 100 metres, and he's dashed in.
Oh, it's on the agenda.
He was not going to let that one go.
I'll take it back. It was Stuart Wynn. There you go, little rib tickler, and Stuart Wynn 100 metres away saw it and came in and gave the free kick. Well, Burton's been a bit undisciplined giving away the free kick on that occasion, and also the 50 earlier, but he's a little bit stiff. Rutten runs into trouble. The handball goes back to Bassett, a sweeping handball inside. Let's see if the Crows can get something going hard. Oh, it's a shocking handball. Here comes the turnover. Matner under pressure, gets it away. The Crows trying to get it out of that area. They've had about 5 possessions and moved to 20 metres. Rutten again over the top. It sits badly for Rashudo. Beautiful play by Lenny Hayes. Dennis even gets some play going.
Baker down towards half forward. Revolt, sorry, no, it's out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Nothing.
Well, that's great play from... that's great play there from St Kilda. There's a free kick there.
Powell was in, maybe just cleaning his stops.
Big back around the ball against, should be against him too high. That'll be a great classic.
I saw you, Nathan.
A week is a long time in football.
Well, Powley does niggle, and I would have little doubt that Powley started that, and Bassett's gone to shrug him off and gone too high.
Hello to Chris Judd tonight.
Yeah, 65 metres out. Powell sets it very high in the revolt direction. In from the side, Burton. Big grab, plays on immediately, releases McLeod in the back pocket, swings it out wide. Opportunity for Hart now to Thompson, running away from half-back, not much on offer, forced to hold the ball, now he kicks. Well, you can see his problem. Gathered brilliantly by Jones, confronted there by Edwards, jarred it loose. Ball has got it now inside the centre square, goes down towards half-forward. Well, how did Milne get so free? 52 metres out, kicks straight into McLeod. It's about 40 metres out from goal. McLeod goes to ground, he was pushed in the back.
Now look, McLeod being the superstar that he is, and even though he knows Milne is dangerous, because he is so good, McLeod, he actually instinctively will not give Milne the respect he deserves in this type of form.
Biglan's in the opposite back pocket. It's a hand pass away to Bassett. Bassett, and he's back to his own goal, comes back to Biglan's. Less than convincing once more. Hart, touch of skill, touch of class, goes towards the half-forward line. Jones, well, they're picking him out at the moment. The hand pass is untidy, but he follows up his own work, gathers the ball at right half-back, does a U-turn knowing there's plenty of numbers behind him, and gives it to Fisher.
Fisher called the play on no 15. He goes up the line. Blake takes the mark.
I might have been right with the 2 points there, Ed.
You might be, Doom. We've got a minute, just over a minute. They might let you down. You've wrapped them up, Doom. The miles on them. Penny's there. He did the 360. Couldn't quite pick it up. That's a free kick. Sure.
Now they're a show.
Now they're a show. Against Hudson, dived in on top of the pack and gave away the free kick.
Now Riley went for it. Got him too high. What type of kick?
5 goals, 2 for the season. 10 goals, 11 in his career, Dermot.
Yeah, more running type goals and the roving in close rather than for a set shot from pretty deep.
Yeah, he'll have to kick this 53 metres.
He's going to have a few tall blokes on the line, so it's going to have to carry. It's going to have to be a high 50-metre kick.
So Brent Riley coming in for what he hopes will be his 6th goal of the season, and Adelaide Crows first for the night. They trail by 5 goals. Gives it a good roost, and it's not going to be online, is it? Oh, it just stuck through it, bent back, he's got it. He did all the above. Goal to the Crows.
I was way out, didn't he? Got to 8 points. Catapulted. But he just, I mean, the kid just wanted the ball. Started off the ground, came on, just wanted the ball, dived on it, which is always a danger if he got tackled correctly. But a poor effort in the end to try and bottle him up. Gets there just at the line.
Much needed goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just snuck in, didn't it?
Yeah. It's in the book, though.
Almost quarter time, and the Saints lead it by 24 points now. Belated goal. Needed somebody coming from behind.
Del Santo in the centre here. When we get the one here of the view, here's him on the right-hand side of the screen. He just keeps winning the ball. Now he's just signalled over to his teammate Graham, come through behind me if I get it.
Tap down.
Goes for it.
Well done to McGough. Blake.
Good charge.
But Revolt couldn't get on the end of it. Bassett goes out wide to Burton. Now breaking hard is Edwards. It goes in that direction. Just hangs up a little bit. Showed enough of it to Peckett to get a first on it. Brilliantly done. Stumbling was Burton. Final seconds of the term. Goodwin gets a hand pass away to McGregor to Biglan's. Can he find the target? No. Now Matner in a race against the footy and the clock here. Goes inside the forward 50. Doughty, can he get on the end of it? No. Blocked away by Baker. We're down to the siren. Well, fitting really with Adelaide working overtime as the siren rang, because that's been the story of their term, particularly in the...
Just very quickly before the bounce, he said nothing changes from the start of the game. He said keep control in the air and on the ground. You must play competitive football at all times. He urged them, be strong, go at them strong.
Second term Friday night football. Hudson knocks it down. Rashudo kicking towards half forward. Baker walks off his man Thompson and goes and finds the footy in trouble. Had it a long time for Yora, cleverly. Got it down to the boys. Hudson a hand pass away to Del Santo. In trouble. Looping hand pass for Yora. Played it cagily. Socket off the ground. Burton ricochets off Del Santo. Out of bounds on the full.
Good call.
It's bad luck. Burton's got the free though. Goes back now to Hudson, having a very good season. Very short kick. Bounces to Perry, who was standing about 10 metres away. Hudson, fixed him. Fiora's over the football, falling to the ground. Coughs it up, though. Edwards hard against the boundary line. Goes to half forward. Going back, Shirley. Could have been held, was held. He's 55 metres out. He wants to move it quickly. He plays on. He's gone wide of the mark. There's no call to play on. He goes in and finds Welsh on the lead.
Finally got there, and when Hudson looked up the first time, he couldn't go long because 55 metres down the line he saw Kane Ackland, his opposite number, just standing there with no one near him, so it would have been an easy acceptance. So he honours Perry's lead. Pretty untidy, pretty messy, but it ends up with a hard lead from Welsh. A lead, first time they've had a definitive lead besides McGregor's in the first quarter.
Scott Welsh, who started on the bench tonight, kicking from about 45. Heads it out to the right, but good enough. They get their second.
Now, I know, Danny, we go for the long kicking aspect in footy in this day and age, and it is. If you've got the gun forwards, you can get away with it. But I would hazard a guess right now that Neil Craig has turned around to his team and said, if a forward leads at you, honour the lead. Draw St Kilda's backmen out so you make space behind them, and they must trail you out.
And to do that, you've got to lower your eyes.
Yep.
You would have told the players also, when you look up, lower your eyes. Don't look for the long target. Lower your eyes, hit that target.
So out of nowhere, the Crows have got back-to-back goals. The last of the first of the second, and back within 3 goals now in the match. Big tap from Ackland, but has been intercepted, and forward go the Crows again. Edwards almost got it on the half volley. Good tackle though. Now the ball spills out wide to Baker. Baker, chip kick was great. Out to Fiora, wants to come back onto his left boot. Has runners in the middle of the ground. Del Santo is one of them. The other one is that man, Powell, who marks. First game for the season for Stephen Powell. He gets the handball away. Fiora's been busy. Comes out wide to Baker. Baker between wing and half-back flank. The 7th possession, brings it in. Moving forward by inches at the moment. Coulter. Kick is towards Revolt, but it's cut off by Bassett, and away go the Crows.
Bach, it's a good one from centre half back to half forward. Welsh, a few steps there on Hudson. Long way up the ground, alongside the centre circles. He kicks inside the forward 50. Downey favoured by the kick, going back in the pocket, lays it off. McLeod can conjure some magic here. Had a good look, but misses to the near side.
Well, that might Jason Brown. Yeah, it was really good running from McLeod too. He just took off, got on his bike. He did a 150-metre sprint then.
Things starting to turn ever so slightly. 17 points the difference. St Kilda just a bit befuddled by the style of play they're encountering as Baker comes up to the wing and Del Santo juggles the mark at the interchange gates. And generally the Saints have had problems from here. The precision seems to go out of their game. In midfield they're doing pretty well. It's this move to half forward, albeit plenty of Crows back there. Goes looking for Revolt, who opted out of the contest there. It spills to McLeod, goes to Hudson, back to McLeod. McLeod spots for a shootout. He's sort of left half back, lays it off to Tawney. Tawney to Thompson, honouring the movement now. The kick towards Burton, clever mark. Stood his ground, he's right on the 50. Indecision there, almost cost them. Edwards goes in short. McGregor, timely fist from Hodgson. Perry comes again for the Crows. Taken down, head down, McWalter. Well played by Hayes, they work it away for Fiora. He got it from Baker, and now Hayes swings it out wide, close to the boundary line. Trapped by Voss, all the time in the world. Revolt, can he mark this one? No. Good result for the Crows that it's on the ground, and the big man too was on the ground. Revolt, Hudson gave it to Hart. Pushing through half-back, Goodwin, and once more spots a target in midfield. Darby to Matner, full-chested Matner, goes looking for McGregor. There again was Hodgson, step for step, the consummate defender, but he pumps it out of bounds.
Gentlemen, it's been 7 inside 50s to 1 in favour of Adelaide since the 26-minute mark of the first term.
Third time this quarter we've seen a definite lead up from centre half forward that's been honoured. And Ken McGregor, look, he's a good player, but Max Hodgson's got him covered all day long for pace off the mark.
Ackland got a good tap down to Goddard, to Del Santo. Went to ground, back up again quickly. Hayes, the quick handball was a good one. Away go the Saints now. Brand gets it going. Over to Ball to the forward 50. Revolt just outside the forward 50. Good play from behind. He Crows now have got the numbers up the wing, and Burton has been busy. Gets it going to Tawney. Tawney handballs off. Shirley kicks to centre half forward. Edwards.
Good hit. Stretched. Honouring that lead again.
Out to Rashuda. Now they're a chance, the Crows. He can run and bomb from 55. It's a long bomb, and it's a goal. They've kicked the last three. The Crows, they're back.
Inside 50s this quarter. I think they've just gone to 7-zip now with that goal there. So they definitely have changed their... I mean, Neil Craig has screamed at them for a better effort, but they have definitely come out of the midfield with a better mindset, saying, if you see this bloke at half forward, honour him. And even Tyson Edwards, what is he, about 5'9 and a half? He's very short, but he knows where to run. He was the lead-up player on that occasion, and then turned it sideways to Root.
And look at Adelaide's forward line's open there. You've got McGregor, Welsh, Perry, Edwards. It's a lot more open and there's a lot of movement, so they're starting to honour every lead up in the Adelaide forward line. This is good coaching from Neil Craig.
Remarkable transformation this. The margin 11 points. Ackland battles there with Hudson. Hudson did well, got it to Goodwin. Rashuda out wide. Macna. Now Darnay runs to 60 metres out, lines up, sends it long. Penny needs to be careful, doesn't matter.
Now that's how Cam McGregor's going to mark it. Again, well, against Penny that time, but on the lead he's been gobbled up by Max Hudson. Now he is one bloke who they should say go long to.
Yeah, and that's the time you go long. When you've got McGregor one out, get it in there long and strong.
As long as Scotty Welsh leads out and takes that man.
It's a good setup.
Project the last three. He's goalless this season. No longer. Steers it through. Adelaide coming on strong.
Do not fade away from the fact that they've won them out of the middle of the bounce downs this quarter. It's an enormous hand here. Hudson grabs the ball, a little bit dangerous, but he was underneath all the traffic there when he went to ground. They've had clean takeaway.
But also the fact that at least Neil Craig's now gone conventional and one-on-one. You can afford to do that when you haven't got a loose player. So he's backing his players in after the quarter time break to say, get in there and have a crack, get it down to your forwards.
Well, the Adelaide Crows have kicked the last two without St.Kilda touching the ball. 5 points after they led by 30 points at the 20-minute mark of the first quarter. We're now 8 1/4 minutes into the second, and they've got it again. Shirley. They have dominated possession. Look at this. The Birdman's got away. Burton's got it. Wants to cut inside. He does. The Madner who spent it before he had it. Suddenly, he's got himself clear again. The ball spills out to Hart. Well, that could have been 3 goals on the trot without a touch from the Saints, except he sprayed the kick out wide at the full, and a temporary reprieve for St Kilda from the last line of defence.
Well, the reason why Burton got that, Fiora dropped back. St Kilda are now putting a man back, so they use Burton up through the middle of the ground, which is good play.
Here's Penny. Takes on McGregor. His kick wanders outside the defensive 50. Rashuda's got it by 65 metres out. It's coming back in. He's looking for Edwards, marginally back in. Well, he's got it 52 metres out as things stand, but he hooks it down towards full forward. Drifting back is McGregor. Off the ball, there's some holding, and it's going to Baker. And held down. It's amazing, though, when footballers trust their instincts and start to run and do the thing that comes naturally.
He's targeted every week, Stevie Baker.
Got the free kick here. He comes out to Graham.
By the good players, Dennis. They tag him.
They do. Rough him up. Here's Fiora.
Yeah, feel sorry for him.
Shy of the wing. It's a hand pass to Hayes. One of the few forays forward. But it ends with nothing except two on his chest. Brock has been very good back there, doing remarkably well on revolt. Swings it out to Hart. And again, suddenly the movement is fluent. This is Hart. Beyond half back to the wing. Speared the pass into Goodwin. Goodwin's got it then. Looking to half forward. Half distance pass. Bounces to McLeod. Took on Powell. Got away. McWalter though. Blanketed the hand pass. Back comes Powell. Locked in a battle with McLeod. High on's the call. Goodwin. Crowd not happy. Penetrating kick. Ackland was up in front. Dragged down. They're going to get a free here.
Dennis, it's been 10-1 the inside 50s this quarter in favour of Adelaide, and this quarter disposals 51-31 in favour of the Adelaide Crows.
High free kick to the Saints there. Burton gets back. Crowd incensed. Burton from 55. How will it bounce? Del Santo cleverly controlled it to his own advantage. Lays it off to Hayes. Hayes gets out of trouble. 2 men on the wing. Powell marks hard against the boundary line. Looking towards half-forward. Rebold has been well held, not this time. Well, his confidence may be down. Bock tumbles into Boss. Stumbling away down there was Bassett. Bassett goes back on Boss, and that ball doesn't come out, despite the best intentions of several players. Holding the ball! Not all of that.
Saints free kick. You had the opportunity there. Yeah, you grabbed hold of it. You didn't try to get it out. Pull it on top of yourself.
Ooh, tough that one. Stewie went on the scene.
Crows have got plenty of numbers back here.
They've been consistent, the umpires. If you hold on to it, they'll give it. So ball with a nice chip kick inside. Let's have a look at this again. It was there for a long time.
Then he doesn't release it.
Yeah. So far for the Saints this quarter, Jones, Garrick, Revolt and Milne without a touch. It hasn't been up forward though, that's why.
11-2 inside 50s, Ed, and I would hazard a guess out of those 11 with Adelaide, 7 times out of those 11 they'd have gone straight through the front edge of the centre square.
Jason Blake's kicked 1 goal this season. And it stays that way. He's now kicked 1 goal, 1 for the year. And that was a bad shot at goal. So the Saints are under the hammer at the moment. That's their first score of the quarter. Alicia Mollick enjoying the action here. Good friend of Fraser Gehrig. And recovering from an inner ear infection which has kept her off the international tennis circuit for the last month or so.
Good one. Got it from Magna. Finds Perry. Now a shooter inside the centre square. Around the corner, Darby. He's been handy on the forward line in this turn. Goes to Goodwin. Over the top to Welsh. Trying to go back to Burton. Burton sockers it off the ground. Dangerous situation for the Saints. Edwards runs on it and kicks another one.
Now, Spud, you coach in St Kilda. What do you tell young Andrew McGualter?
Go for the ball?
Go for the ball and be strong over the ball.
Here we go.
And look, he'll obviously see this during the week. And it was good. A quick ball movement again from the Crows, getting it in there. But here's Edwards and young McQualter. Go at the ball. He's like a sheepdog there, just yapping away at his heels. Had to be a lot more desperate, at least try and get a hand on the ball.
Well, believe it or not, it's 5-3 apiece and scores are level, and the Adelaide Crows have kicked the last 5 goals of the game after St Kilda kicked the first 5. All right, we'll start again. Blake goes in over the top. Can you believe it? 5 goals to the Saints to lead by 30 points. 5 goals to the Crows, and scores are level at the 13.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Up towards Gehrig, who got a fingernail on the top of it. It scores to Milne. Oh, he went without it. He dropped the ball. Under pressure, he's still in there, but they get it out through Matner, who ducks his head and says, go! He kicks to his captain, and Mashudo holds up play.
He does that type of thing occasionally, Milne.
Was he trying to sell the dummy?
No, he just dropped it. He cold-sputtered it.
He brought it himself.
Since the 27-minute mark of the first quarter, I'll tell you the stats in a moment, because over it goes. Here's a chance now for Perry. He flicks it over the top. The kick forward is another goal. Is it Adelaide? It is. It's a goal to Thompson. They've hit the front. They've kicked 6 on a row. Adelaide are on fire.
Okay, the last 2 goals for Adelaide have been caused by just total and utter inexperience by St Kilda's backman. Young Fisher then, in the contest with Perry, went past the ball. See, he's gone now.
Had to take the body.
Yeah, he had to keep Perry in front of him, and at worst, if Perry marks it, he's got him, he's standing goal side. He allowed Perry to get past him with a clean run at the ball, goal side. McQualter, another error with inexperience.
Well, it might have been a set play from the Mr. Bean Christmas special, but the Crows will take it. 6-3, 5-3. Remarkable stuff. They lead by 6 points. Hudson has been very important. Rashudo down inside the 50. Thompson got the last goal. Darty upended by Baker. Baker hasn't got the football. He'll get the free kick.
Definitely buzzes through there.
He's ticked on, isn't he?
Yeah, he didn't have the ball.
Boys, since the 27-minute mark, it's been 73 to 40 disposals, inside 50s, 14 to 3, and goals 6-0, all in favour of Adelaide.
Aussie Jones running it out. Everything is dried up for the Saints.
They're hugging the boundary now, the Saints.
Ball in front, takes the mark. So initially the rope a dope from the Crows, and now they've opened up. I mentioned before, instinctive football. Not sure what it proves, though.
Well, Ed, you're right. St Kilda just have to get their hands on the ball. They can't control the game if you haven't got the ball. Adelaide are controlling it.
They've been snipped out of the centre for a start this quarter, whereas Del Santo controlled it in their quarter one.
Towards the half-forward line, good mark by Voss. Just raising the question, though, Durham, do you have to have the first quarter to have the second quarter if you're the Saints? Does that make sense? Confuse, or rather the Crows, confuse the Saints as Bott goes back doing wonderfully well down there.
Grant Thomas would be confused, Dennis.
Yeah, there's confusion all around. As this kick comes back towards the wing, from behind ball, Shirley going to ground, trying to knock it through there, McLeod. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
I know it's the players out there, Dennis, but Neil Craig can take a lot of credit for this revival. That quarter-time address we spoke about was just inspirational stuff. It was all positive, hardly any negatives in there, and they're responding.
Well, I liked what he saw, just maybe not the execution. And up goes Biglands. He got the tap. The Saints are under the hammer, as we said. Voss, crunch. Biglands is a big man, and he made him feel it. Another ball up.
What I mean by Grant Thomas being confused, he'd be confused with the lack of effort from St Kilda. First quarter they were sensational. This quarter they just haven't looked like it.
The easy run not there at the moment.
Blocked in!
And blocking was the call against Blake, so Biglands gets the free kick.
It's almost an estimation that the umpire has to make there. Could Blake have actually reached the ball where he stood and decided to shelter the drop of it?
McLeod up to Perry to get the free kick. Off hands, here we go again, it's opened up. Dowdy into the open goal, now he gives it off to Edwards, trying to find some space. He gets the handball across, tackled there was Riley. Now that was good play by the Saints defence because they were away the Crows and held them up. And that would have been an absolute shocker for them had that one got away.
So Jason Graham was very lucky then. Michael Dowdy just pushed forward and found space.
He was away, just couldn't get it away. Biglands gives away the free kick. There you go, good call by the umpire. So Blake gets it at centre half back for the Saints. 7.25 minutes gone in this term, and Derm, can St Kilda get a point or a goal? What do you reckon this time?
Well, they're looking like they can't score now. Well, it depends on this grab.
It's on Derm Lotto as Revolt takes the mark.
Get it in there quickly, got one-on-one St Kilda.
Everyone's on between tonight. Revolt to space. Gehrig hasn't been down his end very often in this term. Down goes McLeod. Over the top was Jones, held in there by Matner. We'll have a bounce about 45 metres out.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle down the right-hand side of screen tonight. Can't score down there.
No wind advantage, is there?
Biglands did very well down. He's Shirley. Tawney now across the ground. Bock.
Where's he go? He's got the athleticism to run with Revolt.
Comes away from half-back. Finds Thompson. Goes across the ground with precision. Riley. What about Dowdy? Goes longer now to Tawney. Tawney inside the forward 50, intended for Wells. Pushes off Hutchton. Hutchton right there with him. Shrugs the tackle out as well. Looks back towards the middle. Goodwin won't get to the contest. And Blake will get a free kick.
Sorry, Dennis. Where's St Kilda probably lagging a bit? Robert Harvey. I know he's 33, but Paul Del Santo and Hayes don't get a spell. When Robert Harvey comes in, he's able to give those guys a spell, and they really fuel in the boundary line. They're running out of legs a little bit in the middle.
They've got Powell on the bench to come on and try and do that for them, but he's sitting there still now.
Yora's long kick up to Gehrig, who did it well. Now he's got the handball going to Hayes, who runs to 55, chips to Revolt, who marks in the pocket. Well, the Saints need their skipper to lift here and kick a goal. 5.5 minutes to go in this second term, and this is the best chance for the Saints since Blake missed a relatively easy chance earlier in the term. In comes Nick Revolt, has kicked 6 goals, 8 for the season. Since 2002, you can see he's pretty good from this position. Except on that occasion. Another behind us in Kilda. They've only kicked 2 behinds for this term as opposed to the Adelaide Crows, who have kicked 5 goals, 1.
Only 5 possessions for Nick Revolt. Certainly he's the focus when they go forward. Bonker's done a remarkable job. Jericho's got it now towards the wing. Skipworth just on the ground takes the mark. Everything falling into place for the Crows. Wiley inside the forward 50. Welsh was in front. He'll get the ball.
That was an early hold.
Maxie is indignant.
Around him. You can't go to the ball if you've got your arms around him, okay? That makes it easy.
Right about there, Maxie lost his footing, moved into him, and thought if he gets a clean run of it, I've lost my direction in the run. He's going to mark it easy, so he tries to put a bit of contact on him and get away with it.
And good stuff by Goldie there as well, not giving a 50-metre penalty despite the anguish of Max Hutchland.
The margin was 24 points at quarter time against the Crows. They now lead by 11.
This is a big quarter. This is a very big quarter. What's that? They had one at quarter time, didn't they?
Yeah, just six, the last 6 goals. There's 7 goals now, Dermot.
And well, I mean, it's really come about. They've won the ball in the middle of the ground, and they've utilised it. They brought the ball through generally the corridor. I mean, that's shots from the corridor.
Simon Goodwin's had 8 possessions this quarter. He's been the catalyst in there. A little bit of doubt on him going to the game, but he's been tremendous this quarter.
Well, everything we said about St Kilda in the first term, we now say about the Adelaide Crows. They're dominating out of the centre. They've got plenty of forward options, and they're kicking all the goals. They've kicked the last 7 of the game, the only 6 of the term, and they lead by 11 points. 4 minutes 20 left on the clock. St Kilda have not been able to score a goal this quarter at all. In fact, only 2 behinds, and Fiora, who danced beautifully in the first term, suddenly got 2 left feet.
He froze then in the headlights.
Exactly, 2 left feet, no right foot. That's the problem, as Danny Frawley said, as Matner now gets it out to the magician. McLeod goes forward. The kick was an ordinary one on that occasion, however. It spills for Clark at the back, who gets the handball going to McGough. McGough, whose kick was wobbling left, right and centre. Found the mark in the end. Clark kept running, just escaped the grass there of Perry. Out to the wing position. They need to make something of it here, the Saints. The mark's been taken by Goddard. Revolt gives 1 lead. Voss leads back. Goddard decides to kick long. Revolt's the man. Voss from behind. They're all up high. It's punched away. Off hands. Edwards has had a great quarter. Front and back. Gets the handball away. Bassett under pressure. Kept his head over the ball. Was great play. Hart now flicks it out. Bassett has to beat the tackle. He does. Gave Hayes one for good measure. Now it spills out to Matner. Matner goes inside 50. Down it comes towards Welsh. It beat him over the head. Who's going to win the race with the ball backwards? Baker's there. Where did he go? In trouble. He's in trouble. He's gone. No, says umpire Goldspink.
What a tackle. That is copybook.
Thompson.
Oh, what a tackle from behind by Thompson. In fact, over the last month, I think he's lying about 6th in the league for tackles. Works hard, that boy.
I tell you what, had the 3rd man not come in for the Crows, they probably would have got the free kick. Baker, close to the boundary line, wants it and gets it at the fence of 50. And the Saints are under enormous pressure here at the Telstra Dome.
That is, just run a tape over that one, Dennis, that tackle, and send it out to every junior footy club how you do it from when you're running down someone from behind.
Well, I think the decision was right, having said all of that. Baker had just taken the ball and suddenly Thompson had him pin the ball. Boundary throw in. Neil Craig must be delighted. We saw him at quarter time. He didn't spare anybody.
Bench press.
Ball across the boundary line. In fact, I thought he was out of bounds, but you can hit him by. Obviously, he was a step inside. Let's go down to the boundary. Teddy Jones.
Yeah, well, Box done a pretty good job on Revolt, hasn't he? He's now off having a bit of a rest, but Greg has got the job on the big Saint.
Well, it was interesting there. Had Goodwin fallen over, he probably wouldn't have given away the free kick. Well, the kick comes out from Fiora. St Kilda, by the way, has not had a goalless quarter since round 11, 2003 against Brisbane. They've got 2 minutes to try and get a goal. McQualter.
Adelaide set up behind it. Hudson straight down the line, so they're going to have to go short or very wide.
There's no one behind McQualter on the ground, so they've got back, they've flooded back. Revolt's had a dirty night so far, kept it in play, almost cleaned up the boundary umpire and the camera person.
Oh, it was a big twist.
And in the end, the umpire said it was out of bounds. Let's have a look. Well, I don't know if it was. And that's a good call from that boundary umpire because he was 20 metres behind and blocked by 3 different people.
I think he got it right.
He had a guess. Throw in. Inside 2 minutes left on the clock. Hudson got the tap. It comes down to Fiora. To Hayes. Hayes goes long up towards Revolt. Gets the front spot. Can't hold the mark. Off hands. Picked up by Skipworth. Got it away to McGregor. Blake intercepted. McGough good hands to Hayes. Now a chance for Revolt.
Inside the forward 50, but wide of the mark. Goddard can't get there. Succeeds only in spilling it across the line.
Looks
That
very
look says
tight.
it all, doesn't it?
Looks very tired, Nick Revolt. He's had to do a lot of work. He's probably been double teamed, and that was a sign of a very tired play. Can't wait for half-time to come, I think.
Throw in right on the 50. See the time remaining in the margin. Adelaide by 11. Inconceivable this could have happened watching that first term, but it has. Revolt slips it away. McGough 65 metres out, goes down towards the pocket. Gehrig presented with a hopeless task. No margin there at all for the leading forward. Bassett across the ground to Jericho. Jericho swings it out wide. Well-weighted kick. Mackner slipping in behind Jones. Cruising past. A man can take the ball now. He has. That's Tawney. Tawney up ahead to Rashudo. Forward of the wing. Chips it out wide. Right half forward. McLeod. Inside the last minute of the first half. Kick down towards full forward. Getting back Fisher.
Disposals this quarter, boys, inside 50, 19-2 Adelaide's way. 19-2. The Saints have actually scored with their 2 4As, 2 points. Wow.
That is a belting.
That is a shellacking.
In a quarter.
Perry over the top. Penny got his hand to the ball. He thought it was so easy in the first quarter. Not so easy now as Powell runs into a brick wall. And that brick wall was Michael Dowdy, who's had a wonderful term. 20 seconds left, and the Saints are not going to score a goal, you would have thought. You'll think from here. The first time since round 11, 2003. Having kicked the first 5 goals of the game to lead by 30 points. They haven't kicked one since. In the meantime, the Crows have kicked 7.
Now, if there's one to Shirley in the first quarter over the shoulder, you would think that's similar.
We can have a good look at that at half-time because St Kilda fans came.
Yes, thanks, Ed. Yeah, well, Steve Folkes, as we said, sitting in the St Kilda box, that's all part of a sponsorship deal. And, well, put it this way, if the Saints win, we'll have a chat to him at the end. If they don't, so what?
Fair enough.
Crows by 11 points. Out of the centre square. Down towards half forward. Clears the pack. Arriving quickly, Thompson trying to get the hand pass across. Skipworth went to ground. Ditto ball, and again Thompson got him. Play on's the call. McWalter drives the Saints towards right half back with an element of danger. Goddard got a hand to it. Burton leads back in the race. He's over the football. Goddard's over him. And they fight a draw on the ground, at least initially. The call is knock it out, but easier said than done. They'll have a bounce.
Andrew McLeod's gone forward now with Steve Bacon tagging him. So the Adelaide coaching staff are opening up full throttle, putting McLeod forward.
Once again, what a great tackle by Scotty Thompson.
That was the hallmark of Adelaide in the second term. Harassing, tackling. Free kick was going the Saints' way against Hudson.
Now, with Penny and Hudson in the goal square as defenders, it leaves one of the most inexperienced other 4 backmen in the league playing out across the half-back line, which Adelaide are trying to exploit.
Probing kick from Ackland. Runs loose at the back of the leading player. Now an opportunity for Del Santo. Slips it away to Voss under pressure. Gets the kick off and wanders down towards full forward. Milne. He's marked 20 metres out in the slight angle.
Good strong grab.
He's a strong little unit, isn't he, for a tiny little fella?
That'll go down as a contested mark, which is something he's not known for, but stood his ground well.
Well, he's kicked, 16 out of his last 17 shots at goal. He's made count now. So this is a soda for him.
Just pushed Tawney under the ball there. Yeah. He just took his space.
He's kicked 11-1 from set shots this year, going at his second tonight. The first off hands, about a metre out. Now he's got 2.
Even that one there, Spud, 3.5 metres from each post. A simple little shot there, but he did exceptionally well. Tawney actually loses grip on the ground with one of his feet here and just gets upended. Once you get a foot off the ground when you're in a stand and deliver marking contest, you're gone. So there, he's lost his foot there. The left foot comes away and he's done. As soon as that happens, you can't even put your arms where you want them to go in a spoil.
Well, there's Andrew McLeod, who was on Milne for the first half of the game, now on Baker at the other end. And, well, believe it or not, Milne's kicked the last 2 goals for St Kilda. The last one was at the 20-minute mark of the first term. This is the 2nd-minute mark of the third term. And can you believe it? There's been 1 goal kicked to the right of screen. 1 goal kicked of 13 for the night. And away go the Saints again. Powell. It sits awkwardly for him. Now he's got it. Inside 50 he goes. A high up and under. It was an ordinary kick, but it's going to be a field. Revolt ran about 50 metres to get to it. And Nick Revolt, who kicked one earlier in the first quarter from outside 50 on a tighter angle, is a good thing to put the Saints back in front.
It was really good play there from Aussie Jones, knowing that Revolt was coming in. Thought, I'll crump if there's a spillage and allow Revolt to take a contested mark, which he's very good at.
What about the kick from Powell, though? It was a shank, but had he placed it there on purpose, we would have said it was perfect.
He likes this end. He's kicked 2. 2 goals, 1. Saints hit the front.
Well, Grant Thomas will be rapid at the start of the third quarter. Their ball movement has been a hell of a lot quicker. I think they were victim of their circumstances at the end of the first quarter. They're playing a loose man, Adelaide. Let's hold the play up. I think he would have went in there at half-time. Let's move the ball quick, get it into these guys because they're the money men. Get it in nice and quick no matter what. We're going one-on-one. And it's starting to pay dividends nice and early.
And Revolt was starting the first half on the back of the square. He's starting 25 metres out now.
Saints lead by a point. Revolt's got 2 goals. He made his debut against these Crows, round 15, 2001, right here at the Dome. Malcolm Blight's last game.
There's the man sitting out the back. It goes out the other direction.
Yeah, Shirley got it. Downey to Hart. Little chip wide. Good one. Designed the footy. Took a good grab to Edwards. Goes back in towards the middle. Downey liked his second turn. He was a catalyst in many respects up forward. Now good one on the overlap. Penetrating kick is a beauty.
And
Walsh was marked.
Sorry, Danny. You had all that space. You recognised the ball was going there. And probably from that position on the ground, there's probably 2 Adelaide Crows who could put the ball there.
And Maxie Hudson was just ball watched just for half a second. You're watching the ball. He lost contact of where his direct opponent was. And when that, as you said, that kick goes out to the fat side, very hard to defend.
Welsh has put it 2 tonight. Simon Goodwin, 17 possessions. Important kick this one to regain the lead for the Crows, and he's done.
Well, the opening 4 minutes of this third quarter, as intriguing as the first half was, as a spectacle, you'd just say it was a contest. But the opening 4 minutes of this third quarter been fantastic footy to watch. Direct, quick-paced.
It was. And look, after that, Welsh used McGregor as a bit of a foil, and Max Hudson had to run around. So that was great play there from McGregor and Welsh.
So 2 goals to 1 in this third term. We've only been going 6 minutes, but Adelaide reclaim the lead by 5 points. And Goodwin in amongst it again. The old 1-2. Beautiful kick to Welsh, who scored his third, as Dennis said. There's Goodwin again in amongst it, trying to get the handball out. Kept his feet. He goes a second time for the tackle on top of Del Santo. Dr. Peter Larkins has some news, Pete.
Yeah, Sam Fisher just early this quarter got a knock on his elbow and he's had numbness down the hand and fingers there. His physio's checked him. He's just getting some feeling back in the hand, but he luckily hasn't been in a contest yet, so he hasn't had to test himself.
How would you describe that, Pete?
That would be an elbow stinger, Ed.
An elbow stinger. There it is. Edwards tries to get it out. By the way, it's 10 disposals St Kilda for 2 goals this quarter. Adelaide 10 disposals for 1 goal. It's a closely run thing at the moment.
Well, they're efficient.
Umpire's been very good tonight so far. Good bounce from umpire Darren Goldspeak. McLeod gets it out. There's my man Goodwin tonight. He's been a beauty. Inside 50 he goes. Welsh has got away again. Can he get there? No, he can't. Big effort by Welsh. He tries to get it out the back. Thompson fights hard for it. He's had his pocket picked by the other number 5 on the ground, Aussie Jones.
Fiora been very good tonight too. 16 possessions now to Ackland, to Hayes. Back to Fiora on his natural left foot, goes down towards the pocket, and Voss took the half volley brilliantly. Can he get away? Not quite. Well done, Hart. Harassed him down there, forced the error. Now Tawney. The troubles of his own. Hart over the top, played it well once more. Hudson, his ruck work has been fine tonight. His kicking not so good. Rashudo gave it to Shirley, tried to go back to Rashudo. Hayes has got it now, attracts the crowd, lays it off. McWalter bypasses Hayes, comes to Milne. Now Jones against the boundary line, tries to go to Voss. He gathers the half volley once more. That's his specialty. Floats one across towards Geary, who marked it in the hands.
Magnificent grab. Not much you can do about that, Rutten. It was just a good high kick to a real dangerous spot. And Fraser Gehrig, being the strongest, have a look at it, just strong through the legs. Wasn't able to move him whatsoever, and that's why he plays forward, because he's very hard to move off the ball.
Like using the salad tongs there, just pluck it. Out they go. Fraser, who started so well tonight, gets his second.
That being said, he hasn't marked it all that much for the evening, only 2 marks. Both of them contested, you would argue. Well, that one definitely was. But, yeah, it's a good, strong mark. He marks it in front of his navel. He protects where it's going. Look at that. That is a lot of power there, because Rutten is a big man as well.
Right centering kick from Voss to Gehrig, who gets his second of the night, and we've had the 4th change in the lead in this opening 9 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Ball tries to knock it out. It's picked up by Hudson, though. Got it to Matner, out to the Birdman. Burton goes wide and out to Goodwin, who marks on centre wing. Goodwin, another inside 50. It's a good-looking kick. Oh, Thompson did well, but he caught one high. No, said the umpire. Saints have got the numbers. Fisher picks it up, despite this elbow stinger.
Thompson
gets it away, but Thompson has been very hard at it, Danny.
Great second effort there. Contested the ball, got up on his feet, and had a real crack for the second effort. Great effort.
Isn't he a good negative player, Scotty Thompson? I mean, he's good when he's got the ball, but watch the just relentless pressure. We've already seen him lay 2 brilliant tackles tonight, and that 3rd one then.
He would have felt that as well, Fisher. McLeod bombs it high, up towards full forward. McGregor's the flyer. Was he pushed? No, umpire said play on. Powell grabbed it, was taken to the ground. Goddard.
No chance.
You heard the umpire there.
That's got to be a free to Powell.
Yep, and it is.
Be free to him.
Thompson was sucked in. Powell
Wouldn't let him go.
drew the free kick and gets a 50 to go with it.
He wouldn't let him go.
And wouldn't let it go. And a 50 metres for yapping against Thompson, which would not enthuse Neil Craig at all, because they had a ball up right in their goal square, and now it's inside 50 for St Kilda.
Powell's good. Marked by Bassett. Lays it off to Rashudo. Drives it long towards the wing. Welsh has been at 3 goals.
Getting off Hudson here.
Edwards offers. Big gap behind him. He goes to that gap now. Skipworth coming across the ground. Takes the common out. Quarterback going with hands back towards the middle of Edwards. And that's a pretty good point the crowd are raising. I think they thought that it could well have been 50. Or perhaps they thought he'd played on. I forgot where I was for a moment. I think it was closer to the first. Skipworth. Penny trying to hypnotise McGregor down there in the goal square. But Skipworth, who popped up with some very good goals against the Kangaroos, heads for home. They'll compete about a metre out, no contest really. Getting back, thumped across the line by Ackland. Behind, scores a level.
You persist on having your back.
First rush behind for the night. 8-4 apiece. 12 minutes and 11 seconds left in this 3rd term. Well, here we go. What a game. We've got another close one on Friday Night Football. Ozzie Jones from fullback for the Saints. Derm, how do you see the zone set up by the Crows?
Well, they've got a 14-man zone set up, which is a pretty standard one. So, I mean, that's why St Kilda have had to go short and wide.
And forced to kick up the line now to a contest. Penny got front spot. Coming across was Voss. Couldn't quite hold it in the end. Ball crashed through the pack. Back to Voss. Had a second grab at it. Now he's in a bit of trouble.
No, Pride, never drag that in.
There, the umpire will have a bounce. 55 metres out as Luke Jericho comes on for the Adelaide Crows. Rashudo inside 56 times. What a great player he's been. including a 55-metre goal. Powell got the handball, that ball with quick hands to McQualter. McQualter now up the corridor, is looking for Revolt. Revolt was caught underneath it. Block did well. He's got support from Bassett. They had the numbers out to McLeod. McLeod looks out wide and hits Rashudo. The old firm for the Crows coming together. LaRue's got it on centre wing. Looks up, not much on. Perry leads one way, ducks back. Now Edwards is the man. Umpire's about to call play on. Now he goes, and the kick goes to Goodwin.
Goodwin inside the centre square. Interesting, a lot of support for the Crows here. That chant of Rue that went up, but he got the football, and here's Welsh. He bounced as he hit the deck there. Hudson brought him down hard.
Just be careful, Maxie. I know you're going for the ball, but I did. Here, mate. Here.
Well, we picked that up before. Maxie's just...
Be careful, that's all. I didn't say he'd done anything wrong.
We hear Darren Goldsmith there.
Scotty Mark's here.
But Maxie's just trailing in Scotty Welsh at the moment. I'm not sure whether they can change his matchup, but he's just far too quick for Max.
Distance shouldn't be a problem here. Scores locked together, third term, Friday night football, 52 points apiece. Complex game, you've got to say. Welsh, 48 metres out, sets it on its journey. It is gun barrel straight. He's got 4.
Well, Scotty Welsh, they need someone to stand up and kick goals, and he's got 4 halfway during the third quarter. And I've said this a couple of times this quarter, I think Maxie's just trailing in, just loosening the leg rope probably far too much for Grant Thomas's liking, but look, he's just moving around, he's hitting the ball and coming at it. And at the moment, yes, they've made the change now to put Scott Fisher onto Scotty Welsh.
Well, the importance of a marking forward. All 5 goals this term have come from marks and set shots. 3 to the Saints and 2 to Welsh for Adelaide, and Adelaide back in front. And we've had the 5th change of lead this quarter in 14 3/4 minutes. It's had everything, including a man with 1 boot.
Well, they've made that change, Ed. They've put Sam Fisher onto Maxie Hudson in the goal square now. Sam Fisher onto Scotty Welsh.
Yep. So Welsh has kicked 2. He was just getting off Hudson as Denny Frawley made the point in the last 5 minutes or so. Comes out to Aussie Jones. Concedes some ground to Ball under pressure. The kick was turned over. Good pressure from Burton. Hart took the mark. He got off to Rashudo. Rashudo kicks with the outside of the boot. He put it out in front and hoped for the bet. Hoped for a bit of magic from McLeod, and he got it. Did he get some magic? Over to Edwards. Edwards inside 50. Welsh has got away again. Andrew McLeod has conjured something from nothing, and Welsh will line up for his 3rd for the quarter, and he's 5th for the game.
Well, they just get around Andy McLeod. That was just absolutely magnificent. Have a look at the balance here. Just there, steals the ball off Brendan Goddard and just has the awareness to say, right, have a look up, have some poise, give it to Edwards, and just a magnificent kick. Not much any defender in the competition can do there.
4 marks to Welsh this quarter. This for goal number 5, and he's 3rd for the term. Too much of a build-up, and offline to the left-hand side, his first behind for the night, and the Crows now lead by 7 points with 8 3/4 minutes left on the clock.
9-5, 8-4. Aussie Jones to bring it in. The game very much in the balance, as are the seasons of these 2 clubs. 4-4 both of them. 1 exceeding expectations, 1 short of expectations. Jones, Walsh gets another chance. That was a gutsy mark, coming back with a flight of it. Made to earn it.
Well, you picked up on it, Ed. Their zone's been very good, Adelaide. They've had a 14-man press, and you're spot on. They've struggled to get the ball out all night.
It'll take his best effort from here. Sharp angle, right on the 50. A lot riding on this kick. 7 points to margin. This for 13. I tell you what. Crows by 13. He's got 5.
Well, he's absolutely on fire. And Ed picked up the zone there. You talked about the 14-man press. Aussie Jones had to try and squirt one out wide. Scotty Welsh picked the fly to the ball, went back and just slotted it straight over the goal umpire's hat. That really hurt St Kilda. That's a sign of a real confident team when you're able to do that.
It's a tough get back from here now for the Saints, isn't it? 13 points, but...
Well, Scott Welsh has kicked the last 4 goals of the game for the Adelaide Crows. At the 21-minute mark of the second quarter, he kicked their 7th in a row, 2 goals to the Saints. Then Welsh bobbed up, a goal to Garrick. Saints were back in front by a point. He's kicked the last 2, and now they lead by 13 points. Goodwin out of the centre. Well, it was beautifully done by Ball. He got a bit of purchase on the kick as well, inside 50. Burton leads the race for the ball, gets a good bounce. On the left foot, he kicks it out in front of McLeod. Well, has he been a player tonight? McLeod takes on Hayes. Dragged down, Hayes got him. Dropped it. Well done, Lenny Hayes. Kept the tackle going and didn't take the legs either. That was great play by Lenny Hayes. At half-back flank, the Saints, can they mount a counter-attack? They haven't been inside 50 for 8 minutes in this quarter.
Even that marking contest there was a 3-on-1. You have to get it. St Kilda kicked the ball forward. Yet 3 Crows players were in the vicinity to 1 St Kilda player.
Goodwin and Burton combining there a couple of times. McLeod with a shootout. Back to McLeod with the outside of the boot. It wanders down towards the pocket. McGregor's in front, falling to the ground. Perry, sharp angle, goes to the square. Coming back as well. He can do no wrong. Well, he can. Hacked it out of mid-air, but missed.
Won't get a gig at the FA Cup tomorrow, Dennis,
but he was outnumbered 2-on-1, quick thinking, and didn't miss by much. Meantime, the Saints rush it down the ground, but only as far as Hart. To McLeod, involved in pretty much everything in this term. To Shirley, to Skipworth. He's forward of the wing. All the time in the world. Welsh comes on a lead. It goes in that direction. Not required. Burton gave the contest. Welsh got the crumb. Hand passes into the path of Goodwin. He wanted it most. As simple as that. And he kicks a goal. His first.
That is what we call putting your nose over the footy, Spud.
Unbelievable. When you're hot. Scotty Welsh, he just leads out. The ball just is landing in his hands at the moment. He is on fire. And that is a magnificent hard ball get from Goodwin.
Yeah, Scotty Welsh, I reckon he's trying to take a breather at the moment, and they're still kicking it to him.
He's having a fantastic quarter.
He did put his nose over it. He wanted it, kept it in front of him. Could have got banged into.
Well, the Crows have kicked the last 3 of the game to lead by 19 points. Welsh was in it again. He's had his best bag ever in Victoria. And Simon Goodwin hard at the ball, and then his non-preferred right foot, he puts it through the middle, and the Crows are away. They've kicked 4 of the last 5 goals, the last 3 in the game to lead by 19 points. Hayes out of the centre, just pushed off his kick. Can't get a direct kick inside 50. Burton has lifted. He kicks wide out to Edwards, who's been fantastic. They're running the Crows. They're backing themselves in. They bring the ball inside to Matner. Matner can get the handball away. It was off target. It wasn't a good one. It's been picked up now by Hayes. Under pressure from Dowdy. Now it's Matner. Has a second go. Decides to go long. Very long. It's a booming kick towards Welsh. Couldn't quite hold the mark. McGregor's there as well. Penny has to hold his composure. Does the U-turn? It's turned over. No. In comes Ozzie Jones. Gets it out to Del Sando, who keeps his composure to Peckett fresh on the ground. Peckett a beautiful kick normally, no exception. Into Goddard. Handballs away to it was a ball. Ball got the kick away. Now the Saints are a chance. This ball kept coming. Milne was out wide. Ball went long. It's over the head of his teammate in Revolt. The mark has been taken by Bock, and that's the first inside 50 for the Saints in 12 minutes.
Nathan Bock has been terrific. This is Hart. So experienced, so cool. I was just going to say, with his weight and goal back there, Biglands having a rest, I think. How is he? The astronomer will name that divot on the outer side. The mark is taken by Bassett. He's on the wing. Adelaide looking irresistible at the moment. In stark contrast to the first term, they barely participated.
This third quarter too, Brent Burton on the wing has been able to run defensive side of the centre square, the back of it, and clean up a lot of St Kilda's mongrelled centre bounce clearances.
Rutten goes to Skipworth into the path of Burton. Blake's got a problem. Once he turned his back, he was done.
Smart kick. Doesn't Skipworth get away?
Yeah. Well, he's number 4 or 5 in line in the Adelaide midfield, so he's the one that they don't focus on as much. But as I said, Brett Burton, he was down the other end about, 15, 20 seconds ago, inside defensive 50 on the other side.
Good blind side running.
Yep.
Opened up his vision there, Skipworth. That's why he's one of the leading players in the competition for assists. I think he's first or second in the competition, Skipworth.
I think Goddard is playing on Brett Burton at the moment, and Brett Burton's having a fantastic quarter.
By the way, Skipworth is number 1 for scoring assists in the AFL with 18 for the season. This will be 19 if he kicks it.
Brett Burton coming off 20 possessions last week, hasn't kicked a goal for 2 weeks. That's his 20th possession tonight. All those stats change. He's got a goal. They've got the last for the Crows.
Very good quarter for Brett Burton. As I said, every time St Kilda have won the ball in this third quarter, it's just been a little half mongrel chip kick forward, and Brett Burton off his wing runs to the defensive side of the centre square and just mops up. He's done it 3 times this quarter.
No, so Luke Ball off the ground as well and went straight to the front. I'm not sure what for, but they're really missing Robert Harvey. McGough's gone in there to replace Ball.
Wow. Into the third term, 2 quick goals to the Saints, and you thought, all right, they're on their way. The last 4 goals of the match to Adelaide, 26 points with under 4 minutes to go, and the Saints are in disarray. Their supporters have gone quiet. Their players,
Thanks, Jimmy.
more importantly, have gone quiet on the ground. Doesn't seem to be a lot of talk out there, boys. And there's some bad body language. I know they're into the body language at St Kilda, but there's some slumped shoulders at the moment. Can they lift? They need something. Matten has got it for the Crows, though. The kick up towards centre half. Oh, flying from behind was Hudson, off hands. It's Raphael Clark, a sweeping handball. Can they build from here? Out to Fiora, has to kick with his right foot. It was a good one. And Garrick presented and took the mark. Dick Fraser has to go back and kick this.
Brett Burton's earned a rest there, Ed. He's run pretty hard. Wouldn't mind betting he's got a cramp or something there. 20 plus possessions for the evening. He just needs a rest there.
Look who comes on over, Shooter.
There's not much respite. You take Burton off, who's had the quarter of the season for him so far, and on comes Mark Rashudo.
Big Fraser's kicked 2. They need a third one from him. Helicopters it in. It's off hands and through for a rush behind. Didn't quite get onto that one. Big Fraser Garrick. He's now kicked 2 goals for the night, and that one rushed through for a point.
McLeod's gone to the back flank and picking up Graham now, and he's just standing 20 metres away from Graham and treating him with disrespect.
Skipworth gave it back to McLeod, who runs it up to half-back. Rutten lays it off. Edwards kicks beyond the wing, coming across is Perry, takes the mark. No, fisted away by Hutchton. And across the line it goes as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, Adelaide being very conscientious about fluid intake. Brett Burton coming off for rest. No cramp troubles to him. But Charlie Walsh, Olympic coach, his sole job tonight is just to get fluids into every player on their rotations, walks the bench and makes sure they get 2 cups of fluid in.
And Revolt coming off for St Kilda for Voss.
Well done, Nathan Dock. A moral victory, at least. McGough out of the congestion, moves at about 10 metres. Taken by Jericho, slips the handball away. McLeod again. High ball to half forward, going back with courage. Skipworth didn't know what was coming up to meet him, didn't care.
Well, that is just Grant Thomas is just saying he needs to hold for the last few minutes here, couple of minutes here, and give Revolt a really good rest at 3/4 time.
Thompson, he was a catalyst in their comeback last week. An emerging player forward at the wing, kicks inside the forward 50. McGregor beat 3. He beat 3 of them. Well, I'm not sure any of the 3 tried to spoil, and Clark is hurt. Conked the knee right on the hip. Do we see a fist in any of this?
Back of the rib cage.
Not really.
Back of the rib cage. Once the left knee come up, bang, that is the back of the rib cage.
I think that's a contested mark.
Gee, when you're hot, you're hot. You couldn't blame the St Kilda boys. They had a dead-set crack at the ball, but McGregor just vice-like grip, 2 bites of the cherry, but that was a fantastic mark.
Well, Fisher virtually pushed him into it.
Well, I missed that where Raphael is at the moment.
He'll be eating his dinner off the mantelpiece for a couple of weeks.
Raph, when you get home tonight, don't sneeze. It's going to hurt. That's the worst thing you can do when you've got broken ribs is sneeze.
Or laugh.
Margin is 25 points. McGregor kicking at his 2nd goal. Margin could be out over 30. He's kicked it. And the Saints in desperate trouble.
Ref Clark coming off the ground. I don't think it's broken. He's going to be pretty sore. If they break, first up, you really struggle to actually move at all. So I think it's taken the wind out of him. But the marks, Danny, they've really slaughtered them in contested and possession marks as well.
Yeah, look, they've been fantastic. Probably one player they're missing is Maguire down there, aren't they?
Yeah.
He's a guy that takes a really good contested mark, and Penny's first up from a spell.
So Raphael Clark feeling the effects of Ken McGregor, and the scoreboard showing the effects of Ken McGregor. They're out to a 31-point lead now. Dermot, how good a player do you need to be able to kick goals with broken ribs?
Well, I don't think Raph Clark had any say in that. He's off the ground with it.
I let in, mate. How many did you kick against Richmond with a chest full of broken ribs?
A couple, mate.
11, was it?
Yeah.
You are fantastic.
I heard it was 13.
He's growing. Could be 14 by the end of this game.
Anyway, the Saints will need to kick nearly that many to get back in it the way they're going. With 1 minute left on the clock, Ozzie Jones has got it on centre wing. As you can see, that was a wobble kick up forward, and it's going to come straight back. Bassett charging through, full-chested, bombs it inside 50. He cleared the loose man. Hudson gets a lucky bounce. Welsh got it down. Here's a chance for Skipworth. He's number one for assists. He wants one of his own, but he can't squeeze it through.
Off break.
Through for a point, 41 seconds, 40 seconds on the clock, and Adelaide have absolutely pantsed St.Kilda in this term. They've kicked the last 5 goals of the quarter to lead by 32 points.
A very confident team now. If Nathan Bassett tucks the ball under the arm and sprints away from a pack, they have got their tails completely open.
There's Fiora. Got it from Fisher. Comes back to the middle. Baker. The Saints in disarray. Started the term well enough, but have simply fallen off the pace. Kick inside the forward 50. Geary didn't have the football. Well, the umpire said he was close enough. Edwards run down in the act of kicking. Comes to Jones. Jones on the 50. Spots a man. Moves in the clear Blake. And Blake is marked directly in front. 25 metres out. His team down by, what is it now, 33 points. 32 points.
I called play on then, Spud, because he could have gone to about 15 metres. He would have had to be immediate. But gee, this is a pressure kick, and I'm not so sure he's the best set shot.
1 goal for the season.
He missed one earlier on the night.
Adrian Fletcher's about it. Then he comes. That's a Goalwood. And I think he's missed.
Play on.
We've said it's Australian for oops, and it is. 3/4 time.
Ouch.
And Adelaide.
He's been the difference in the game so far.
Start of the final term. Crows led it by 31 points. Hudson has been terrific in this situation most of the night. We watch him again with interest. That time Ackland knocked it down. Spills wide of the pack. Fiora taken down. Back to Ackland. This is Hayes. Goes towards half forward. Rebolts in front. Leaping over the top is Tawney. It's got to the ground. Running. Got it to Rashudo. Goes to half forward. Perry worked out of the contest. Hutchton had it knocked away by the man behind. Baker comes through. Gets a hand pass to Hutchton. To Ackland. Now it's Jones with some time. Comes wide to Goddard. Thought of half back. To Goddard. Indecisive. Eventually goes towards half forward. 3 men against Revolt. They were waiting too. As the ball goes out of bounds. Down to the dock.
Yeah, 3/4 time, Matty McLeod had a lot of tension to his left eye. They were putting drops and trying to clear it up. Matty got a poke in the eye just before 3/4 time. And Raphael Clark just sitting out on the bench, a bit sore in the ribs, but he doesn't look too bad.
Throw in it. Half forward flank. Ackland got the tap and got one high. McCullough with the kick off the side of the boot. It might come off for him though. No, Fiora couldn't quite hold it. Coming through was hard. Squeezed the kick into the centre of the ground. They're all waiting for it to see what happens. In the back. Yes, it was, said the umpire. So it's a St.Kilda free kick going against Skipworth, and it'll go to Voss. Just ridden into the ground. Voss goes wide. Right out there to Powell, who takes off slowly. Inside 50 with the kick. Milnes the flyer. Up against 2. Couldn't hold it. Didn't get near it, in fact, as Bassett. With a sweeping handball to Hart. They're looking like winners at the moment, the Adelaide Crows, as it comes out to Rutten. Rutten's kick up to the wing position. Waiting there was Dowdy, I think it was. It comes out to Matner, intercepted by Jones. Skipworth, it was, in fact, who got the handball away. Jones to Fiora. Around the body goes. Good kick. Del Santo. Del Santo's kick was smothered, though. Powell. Crunch. Did he get one high? No, said the umpire. And the ball goes to the line through Goodwin. We'll have a throw in 55 out from the St Kilda goal.
It's interesting what Adelaide did to St Kilda in that third quarter. They took Hudson Penny to the goal square, which left a half-back line for St Kilda of Fisher, Ralph Clark and McWalter. Very inexperienced, and they just exploited that when they led up the ground.
Boundary throw in right on the 50. Goodwin looking towards the umpire as he was tackled there. The boundary line hasn't been the refuge it normally is tonight. A couple of decisions paid on or over for holding the ball. Here's Burton getting back. He's hard against the line. Hooks it very high. Coming to meet it is Ball. Coming back is Goodwin. Interesting one for the boundary umpire out on the full, he says. So Ball will get the kick. Plays on immediately. Kicks inside the forward 50. In from the side, Hudson. Over the top, Bock. Hudson hand passes it out. I think it's towards the behind.
Thanks, Fraser. Just wait. Sorry.
Inaccuracy is not an excuse if you're trying to rush a behind.
Yeah, but oh, there goes the kick. He hits the post.
Yep, that's the ruling, don't you?
I know, but it almost defies logic, does it not? If it's deliberately out of bounds and you're trying to force it behind.
But you're trying to deliberately
Force
stop
it
play
behind.
by giving a point, so you still have the same motive. You just haven't actually conceded
I love
anything.
these philosophical debates with you, Democles.
Hart goes up the line. Rashudo stands the bump. Won't be worried too much by Milne. Over the line it goes. Well, the Saints have got 17.5 minutes to show whether they're premiership contenders or pretenders here tonight. Danny, this is a huge game. 4-4 for the Saints. Any chance of a top 4 position could be slipping out of their grip tonight.
Look, their draw is quite favourable, but they would have penciled this one in at the start of the year for sure as a win.
Favourable if you're winning them, aren't you?
Yeah, spot on.
Inside 50 it goes, and Ruttons had a pretty good night tonight. He has, yeah. Gets the handball away to Brock, who's been excellent tonight. The kick up towards the wing position, a one-on-one contest, and Perry was in front of Hatchton. Brings the ball inside, it stays in the air a long time.
Oh, great courage.
Didn't matter, it was Rashudo. You knew that was going to happen. You always knew he wasn't going to take his eye off the ball. Bassett now through the middle to Tawney. Tawney thumps it long with a big kick, one-on-one. McGregor's got the set, and the mark!
Don't discount Scotty Welsh. Since quarter time, his lead-up play, he's taken away the second man who was killing the ball in the contest going long in the first quarter. And this, I mean, that's Rashudo there. That's, as you call, courage. What's Scotty Welsh? Running straight at the ball carrier. That gives a one-on-one every time for the likes of McGregor.
He creates the isolation, doesn't he?
Yep.
Now there you go. They've been honouring the leads, but on that occasion, Tawney went long and strong, and this man, McGregor, who's kicked 2 goals, 1 tonight, started the game with no score for the season. This to wrap it up, just misses.
Your key words there, Ed, they've been honouring the leads.
Yeah.
If you do that, you force your backman to come out and follow you, which makes a one-on-one further down the line behind you.
They've lowered their eyes to do that.
Yep. You can go long every time, but sooner or later, teams like the Brisbane Lions, they love it. They get there with numbers and they kill it. That's a style of footy. You've got to mix it up.
Jones inside the defensive 50, off hands. Well read there by Powell. Goes towards Harford. Rebolt dropped another mark. Most uncharacteristic night. Feeds it off to Hayes. Hayes inside the 50. Fiora. Hold it. It's ended okay. And he will line up a goal from about 40 metres out. He's had a busy night tonight.
It's a confidence thing with Nick Rewell. There's no doubt. Look, he'll be right in a couple of weeks, but
Will fatigue come into that drop one as well?
no doubt. The player they're missing is Hamill. You look at St Kilda's forward line, you think Aaron Hamill allows Rewell a little bit of a break. He's had no respite all night, Nick Rewell.
Basically been on the end of every hit up there, hasn't he?
Fiora's kicked a goal, coming up for his 23rd possession, coming off a season's low of 6 last week. His previous best this year was 20 against his old team. And this one has just fallen away when they desperately need a goal.
1 goal 2 to Aaron Fiora tonight.
Struck that well. It's faded on him.
5 goals the difference.
How good's Ben Hart been? When you talk about the St Kilda halfback line in the third quarter, inexperienced. What about the experience of this fellow in the second half? 15 plus now, 19 possessions, sorry. I'll get it right eventually.
Shirley in front of 35,100 people here tonight at the Telstra Dome as it stays in the air a long time. It was magnificent. That is a contested mark. Look at this. Knew Goddard was coming, took the hit, but took the mark most importantly.
Dennis loves Bassett.
Yep, Hart got it away to Rutten. Rutten runs now. The kick was up. Perry got into the contest from nowhere, got the handball away to skip Goes offline, McGregor. Kept it in play. It's still alive. Picked up by Burton. The mercurial Burton, what can he do? He kicks to the square. No, just in front. Picked up there by Hayes. Edwards is in there. He holds it up, and that's a good result for the Crows. Ball up 55 metres out from goal.
Perry's come into it in this third quarter as well. Fourth quarter.
Get back to a point I made earlier too, Dan. Plenty of support for the Crows here tonight.
Isn't there?
Absolutely. There's a bounce 40 metres out. Skipworth and Jones in the foreground doing a bit. Over the top comes Penny, and the pair I was talking of have been spotted.
You've got your back to the ball, Ozzy. You cannot do that.
There's movement at the station in this regard.
Tell what, a huge tick for Neil Craig. The quarter time, he had a good chat to his boys. They've changed their style of play, so huge tick for Neil Craig.
The umpires have picked up from last week, though, Dennis, no doubt about it. And a good thing, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a free kick, no question. So Skipworth's got the footy.
Well, it's football. It's not British Bulldogs. You've got to have the ball before you tackle them.
Currently at 30 points, the margin.
I said that. I didn't mind British Bulldogs.
Good game.
Yeah, would have been your game at school, I reckon. There goes Skipworth. What's he done? He's just missed. So we're back to 31 as it was at three-quarter time. Oops.
Dan, did you like to be the tackler in the middle when they were all running? Were you the first boy in, or were you the last boy to take on the score?
He used to make sure if you weren't the first one in, you were very quickly out. And you just
ball.
you just hold that 1, 2, 3 for a long time.
That's when you were ducking philosophy class.
Exactly. Yeah. Del Santo to Baker. Baker's got it. And going backwards to Del Santo, just trying to open it up. The defensive play by the Crows, we derided it a couple of weeks ago against Melbourne when they were overrun in the last quarter, but tonight it's held sway because they've been able to have some tall marking options, boys, up forward.
Yep. Well, they've changed it up,
hasn't it?
Yeah.
Ken McGregor's been a great move, putting him forward.
Braun on the bench, as you can see, along with McGough, Clark and Graham.
But McGregor's only kicked 2 goals, but the fact that he's had 4 shots at goal has been a big bonus for them because Scotty Welsh, they've got the two-pronged attack, a leading forward from the goal square and a marking forward in the goal square.
Saints kicked the first 5 goals, or kicked 5 goals in 20 minutes in the first quarter. They've kicked 3 since.
Yeah, you're spot on, and it means their best defender, Luke Penny, has to play on him, though, which means that, you know, Sam Fisher and these younger types, as you talked about, have to play on the more experienced Adelaide half-forward line.
Yep. Boundary throw in on the outer side. 87 plays 56, and Kilda barely hanging on. Hudson locks up there with Blake. Blake won it down. Del Santo's kick smothered. Comes to Fiora now. Claimed by Thompson. His hand pass coughed up. Tawney gave across to Matner in the grasp to Shirley. Shirley kicks inside the forward 50. Hutchton. Valiant attempt to mark, but now they're overcommitted. The hand pass comes from Berry, and he's hit the post with Brother. Kicking at his third and maybe wrapping up the 4 points. He's kicked 3-3, or rather 2-3.
Scotty Thompson, the tackle on Aaron Fiora too, the one that made him turn the ball over. He is a super tackler.
Aussie winds up and gives it a big boot out 55 metres. The Crows front and square again. Ball released the tackle, was good play. Baker kept his feet and crashed through. Now what's on? Not much, only revolt, but the kick is about 50 metres away from him. And getting back to take the mark is Hart, who's been fantastic. Doom, good luck with the vote, you and Danny, tonight. Here's McLeod through the middle of the Telstra Dome. Looks up, not much on, so decides to go short out, wider still. Matner's been good tonight as well. On the left boot, he brings it back in. No one home, though. Ross was heading that way, but Baker with courage took the mark. Over to Del Santo, and nothing on offer for the Saints.
The force them wide ever made the Adelaide forwards. Their pressure's been tremendous.
They're back and forth and going nowhere at the moment, the Saints. He's got nothing ahead here. Fisher marks on defensive 50, and they're just trapped in the end zone.
He's gone for the bomb. The high up and under, up towards the wing. Perry dropped it.
Gary
Going through Goddard, gets a hand pass away.
Hail Mary.
Out of space. Little chip down towards half forward eventually. It was just touched in front of Fiora. Enough to put him off. Tawney gave it to Hudson. This is where shootout to Edwards. The runner alongside Shirley again. Runs beyond the wing. Searching kick inside the forward 50. Well, a couple of Crows converged on that one. Third man gets the cheese. He hooks it across his body, but straight to Fisher. Fisher got the Skipworth kick, and now he's put it to Del Santo. Del Santo.
This is where they miss
towards the wing. Here comes Geary. A little slow to come initially. As a result, you saw the man with the ball had to hesitate. There's a good kick and a good grab.
Sorry, Dennis. Gehrig has to come right out from full forward where he's dangerous. So
it's just too hard for Revolt to cover both legs. We saw him on the lead up this side of the ground. This, where the ball is now, that's Aaron Hamill's lead out that side.
Gehrig sends it up. Up very high. Fiora didn't complete the mark. Prosciutto has seen a lot of the football. Creeps away from the back pocket, then stops, then kicks towards the boundary and finds it on the second bounce.
And that there, Frankie Peckett standing out on the wing, people would say, why don't you just kick it, Prosciutto? What he would have seen was Frankie Peckett out there in space 50 metres, and if he doesn't hit touch, it's going to come back with interest. So he has to hold it up.
Smart kick.
Good little takeaway there as well. Prosciutto's averaged 24 disposals, 5 marks and a goal, and he's passed 13 matches against St Kilda. He's polled Brownlow votes in 5 of those games, and tonight he's had 26. So there you go. He likes playing the Saints.
Did you expect anything less?
Well, you know, he likes playing anyone, Mark Prosciutto, doesn't he? Let's be honest. What a superstar he has been. Mattner's been good tonight. That was Thompson who slapped it out. Ball hasn't had the dominant performance that we've seen in recent times. Del Santo chips it forward. Voss takes the mark on centre wing. Inside with the handball he goes to Blake, who missed 2 puts during the game. Give the Saints a chance. Well, that sort of sums it up for Nick Revolt tonight. He got there, but there was nothing for him when he did. Out come the Crows again. McLeod looks up, lopes forward, takes his time, wants to see what's on offer. Not much, so dances, gets around ball. Oh, does it beautifully. Look at that, a bit of showbiz for Andrew McLeod. The long kick up towards the square. Out came McGregor, nearly beat 3 in the marking contest again. He did it earlier. Here's a chance for Prosciutto, a bit of icing on the cake. He gets it back. It's a good one. This time on his favoured left boot, but it wobbles forward. McGregor almost again, but it's through for a point.
Great discipline from Prosciutto, wasn't it? Hands from ground level out the back to Goodwin.
What about these Saints? I mean, you think back to last season, they won their first 10. If they lose tonight, they will have won just 11 of their last 24, which really does raise a few question marks. There's Jones.
And they just need that key backman to be there. Maguire going out really hurts their balance.
Hodgson, wayward kick. Mattner again, more desperate. Gets a hand pass away. Shirley, McLeod, 52 metres out, gets it a ride. A long ride. That's the ball game, folks.
Danny, you made a point earlier on. Both teams have a reasonable run in from here. And the fact is that St Kilda's reasonable run in from here in the second half of the season, if they can capitalise on that, it's going to be somewhere around the 12-13 win mark if they pull their game together, which is not going to get them a double chance. Well, Adelaide now, they've got a great run home. They could end up with 14 wins plus.
It's been a great effort by Adelaide.
Don't forget, next Friday night, AFL on 9. This is going to be a beauty. Melbourne and Richmond from the Telstra Dome. It's going to be an absolute belter. 2 teams really fighting hard now and could be top 4, the both of them, the way they're going. Certainly whoever wins that one will be a real chance. Out of the centre again, Bassett goes with the toe poke. Spills out to that man, Prosciutto. What a night he's had to McLeod.
Great vision.
He of the dancing feet out wide to Goodwin. The old firm. Goodwin will come in from 55 to the square. McGregor's turned his back on it. Nearly got there. It rolls through for a rush behind to the Crows. They're going to win tonight, the Adelaide Crows. There's only been 1 goal kicked in the final term as the Saints decide to head for Moorabbin. And next week, St Kilda, well, they play Sydney, which will be no easy game for them. And the Adelaide Crows take on Carlton at Amy Stadium. So Crows will be 5-4, and St Kilda will be 4-5 after tonight.
Burton, not a good kick. Voss goes back and takes the mark. And the Saints, so dominant early, it looked like a walk in the park. It's been anything but. Full credit to Neil Craig. He's the resident genius tonight. It lasts for a week in footy, but we dub him the genius. That was a terrific comeback that he orchestrated. Got down in the face of his players at quarter time. Here's Hayes, got it from Goddard. Kicking towards half forward, my man Bassett. They can tell you, Derm, that his favourite song is All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan. Now that is a Defenders song.
If you had it said by Jimmy, his version, Hendrix.
No. The thinking man's
You too.
singing poet. There's Hart.
I think they did cover it as well.
Going back, yes. The mark is taken down there by Voss once more, and they'll reload and try and work something out of here. Goddard, the short one, on the bounce to Hayes. Hayes runs away from half-back, looks to half-forward. In front is Gearick, a long way from goal. Rutten having a pretty good season. McLeod having a pretty good match. Back to Rutten. Rutten goes in short. Riley spilt the mark. Recovers well. Flicks it across to Shirley on one knee. Tries to go to Edwards. He couldn't control it. Crawling after it, Skipworth. In goes ball. Well played. McWalter in trouble. Just gave it up. Coming through is Matner. Matner slips it away to McLeod and turn to Hart. He's a good finisher. Hart doesn't do it too often, but knows what's required. He's kicked his first. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, well, he's just had a fantastic game. He's coming off the ground now, and Biglands gives him a high five. He comes off, but look, he's had 3 or 4 games under his belt now. What a sensational player he's been, Ben Hart. Just runs off the half-back line. He's had 23 possessions and finished off a great night's work with 1 goal, and what a champion he's been.
Just to add that argument, he is a champion. We talked during the week on radio. He is a champion, that bloke.
Well, have a look at that. 2 of the best players ever to come out of Adelaide have a rest on the pine with their side 46 points in front. Adelaide have kicked the last 7 goals of the game since the 13-minute and 50-second mark. By the way, Hart's goal, his first since round 11 2002. So he celebrates.
You think about it, 5 minutes before the quarter time, from that space there to right now, the Saints have kicked 3 goals.
Well, they kicked the first 5, Dermot, then Adelaide the next 7, then St Kilda kicked 2, Adelaide 1, St Kilda 1, and now the next 7 in a row for the Adelaide Crows to lead by 46 points. This has just been a game. Grant Thomas won't know where to start or finish on this one. McLeod, well, he can do whatever he likes out there. He can miss the tackle, he still does it. And a handball over his head found a teammate. He held it too long in the end.
That was the equivalent of being in a horse race, and they say you'd have to fall off it to lose. Well, he got back up on it then and still got it.
Ball's got it. 6:23. Ball kicks a helicopter in, even one of their best in his 50th game. Can't do much with it tonight.
You talk about Grant Thomas. They're missing Robert Harvey, Kaczynski, Xavier Clark, Matt Maguire and Aaron Hamill with soft tissues. What happens as a coach, I can tell you, I've been down that road, you tend to lighten off on training when you get a lot of soft tissues. So that'll be the big worrying sign for Grant Thomas at the moment, not being able to replace his good players.
Well, the big trick, as you said there, get those players back in St Kilda look a lot better, but will they get them back in time to have a meaningful assault at any premiership chance?
Well, they had a 5-0 start. Can't ask for much more than that as Goddard kicks it down towards half-forward. Milne is called by Dermot, proceeds to kick it straight out of bounds. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
Well, Dennis, you've made the observation a couple of times tonight about the large Adelaide contingent. I can tell you when Ben Hart and Mark Rizzuto paraded along the boundary line there in their resting period, they were given a hero's reception. And mind you, with the mass exodus, I think the Adelaide Crow supporters are outnumbering St Kilda at the moment.
Bassett, Edwards, Tawney is on. He'll try and give it to him now, and does. That was a clever kick. Tawney's got the football, the defensive side of the wing. All the run coming from Adelaide. Matner wasn't the best hand pass, but he goes back to Tawney. 3 Saints tracking him around that outer side. Tawney decides to stop. Just taunts them a little bit and kicks inside the forward 50. How will it bounce? Well, very high. Hayes comes at it. Taken by Penny. Penny around the boundary line with the kick. In front, Voss. 2 good aerials for their size there. Tawney and Voss. It comes across to Graham. Graham kicks a high ball. In front, Revolt. Should have got a free kick. He's being held. He was pushed in the back and then held, but by his standards, it hasn't been a good night. In fact, it's been one of the worst in his young career. And a word from the umpire as well. So Revolt can't take a trick just for the moment.
Not the umpire's pin-up.
No, I was going to say, then again, he did have a bit to say about the umps a couple of weeks ago. Del Santo goes short. Graham's got it. They do have Memories like elephants.
You'd have to call him Blue, this bloke, wouldn't you? Was he a foreigner?
3 pachyderms out there in yellow. There goes the long kick down towards full forward, off hands across the line for a behind. So we're down under 4.5 minutes. A remarkable game. Adelaide blitzed in the opening term, now blitzing the Saints.
Was he urgent for a goal?
Yes. Just thinking about that now. Lou Graham. He's got the white hair as well, the blonde hair.
St Kilda last 2 weeks. They kicked 15-18.
Here comes Tawny.
To 28-22, so there goes. 82 points down in the last 2 weeks of football.
Oh, amazing.
Here's Thompson.
He's played a good, that's only his 8th possession, but he's played as good an 8th possession game as you'd ever see.
Had a bit of penetration with the kicker in the body.
Couldn't see some line though.
Got it away.
You had great 2 possession games then, didn't you?
Santa.
You did see them.
They were effective.
Yes.
Oh, that's balls one day.
Revolt over the top. A quarter inside to McGough. Bounced off his noggin and he's in a lot of trouble. Gone. There he is, the Roo, back on for an encore performance and a couple of extra stats. How many for the Roo? 29 disposals, that one, as Riley takes the mark. He'll get another one here to make it 30. There he is. He might get his number by the end of the night. The kick, look at that. 50 metres straight to Perry, who marks on.
This here, there's been Maxie Hutchins, I would say, his biggest beating in a one-on-one this year, because he's a very good player, Max, but he's been comprehensively beaten tonight.
Perry hasn't kicked a score tonight. He's kicked 12 goals, 11 for the year. We know that this is the one area of his play, but you would just about bet with 2:48 on the clock that he'll go back and
he's kicked good go at this. He's kicked till coming into tonight. He kicked 12 goals, 11 for the season.
He's created a lot of space for his teammates too, hasn't he?
Fantastic the way he's led up from half forward.
So Perry comes in as the stand's empty here at the Dome.
He looked like Max Walker, didn't he?
Just got off. He looked like a trot of the broke, didn't he? Yeah. And it's through for a rush behind.
Graham Thomas wouldn't be too happy with the half-back zoning off.
No.
Bit of body on body, too much of a leg rope. Let's tighten up next week and really force a contest.
46 points the margin, Del Santo. So Adelaide 15 at the last 18 goals in this game. Helpless, looking on, men who would like to help. Del Santo, meantime, decides to run away from half-back. Kicks it up towards the ring, but Biglands will mark uncontested. What a game it's been. 5-2 to 1-2 at quarter time, and the goal for Adelaide came very late in the term, and now McGregor takes a tumbling mark. Adelaide failed to participate in the first quarter. As a result, at quarter time, St Kilda, I guess you've got to say, were fat, content and arrogant. You know what they say, never moon a werewolf. That is the moral of tonight's game.
What's that? What's that one, Dennis?
Brick mythology, Benny. There's the kick from McGregor. 60 metres out towards full forward. Riley couldn't complete the mark. Ball. Ackland.
That came from that philosopher Turks, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Jones, high ball outside the defence at 50. McGregor knocks it back inside. Edwards taken down. Did he drop it? Yes, holding the ball is the call.
I didn't study that Greek mythology at Bungaree Primary School.
Derm and I did. Don't worry about that. Didn't we, Derm?
Came in as
Speak the same language.
We got it.
Maxie Hutchton kicks it out wide. Dennis will bring in a second book soon. In fact, mid-year, I reckon. I'm tipping he'll have enough. As Bassett goes over the top, Lenny Hayes. He's had one of those nights, Lenny Hayes. He's had plenty of it and done his best, but it just hasn't been able to really penetrate. Just like that kick going on the other end. McLeod dances out from half-back again. The kick was a beauty. Rashudo now up to 31. Hayes has had 30 touches. I mean, he's knocked up getting possessions. Inside it goes. Edwards from McLeod out wide. They're lining up. Perry this time. No, he still wants to kick one from outside 50. There must be something there. Must be in his contract. Last week Adelaide had 366 disposals against Brisbane. They're at 365, and here it comes. 366. They're consistent.
There's Neil Craig. He'd be a happy boy.
He is. There's nothing better in life, is there, Danny, than walking out of a coach's box after one of these.
Especially on a Friday night, Ed.
Last chance for a score here with 3 seconds. That'll be it for the game as ball finishes with it. But the Adelaide Crows take the 4 points and a winning win-loss ratio after 9 rounds of footy. And tonight, it's one that they wouldn't have had. Who's pointing the finger there? Well, the Saints are pointing the finger. There'll be plenty of finger pointing down at Moorabbin during the week. And the Crows, well, not even Neil Curley would have been on them at the 20